Chapter 11. Siddle quietly took a step back and asked in a low voice, "Don't you like it?" After a long while, she looked at the twins and grinned, revealing a smile with a very small curve revealing white teeth. "We like it very much," the two said in unison. "Do you want to give them to us?" The girl on the left said. "You can bring them to room 237. The girl on the right continued, "We'll go get them." After she finished speaking, without waiting for Siddle to respond, the twins disappeared on the spot. Regardless of the twins' disappearance, Siddle still waved happily at the door. "Take your time." Being able to send off these two killers, Siddle was in a very good mood. She was no longer as afraid of Billy as before. If nothing happened, if she didn't scream, then she was quite confident in her own self-control ability. Siddle picked Billy up and observed him carefully. The wooden puppet's eyebrows looked rough as if they had been drawn with crayons. Its big eyes were fierce. The only thing worth praising was its thick, shiny black hair. The wooden puppet was brand new, as if it had just been made. Siddle looked at it for a while, then placed it and Annabelle on the bed. After thinking about it, she groped around in the cupboard and drawers for a long time and finally found some miscellaneous items. After all, it was a gift for someone, so she had to show some sincerity. Hesitating between glue and red silk, Siddle decided to choose the red silk. She tied Annabelle and Billy's hands together, and kindly tied them into a heart shape. After she finished, she looked at her masterpiece with satisfaction. 4 out of 5. It was considered that these two were married. But as soon as she finished tying them, the two dolls suddenly rolled from the bed to the floor, and the silk tied around their hands fell off. Billy fell right under the bed, and Annabelle rolled all the way to the foot of the table. "Siddle?" ? She ran over, picked up the two dolls from the bed, patted them, and put them back on the bed. After hesitating for a moment, she still held the glue bottle and stuck their hands together, then used a silk strip to tie them together. She patted Billy's head. "From now on, Annabelle will be your wife. Men who beat their wives are not considered good wooden puppets. You can't bully your wife in the future, let it go this time, but don't do it again next time." Siddle was about to continue speaking when the door was suddenly opened and Ray walked in. "Honey, Uncle Haroon is leaving now. We have to go see him off." She originally planned to take Billy and Annabelle to room 237 first, but because her mother kept urging her, she heard that Uncle Haroon wanted to see her before he left. She could only close the door tightly and follow Ray to see off Uncle Haroon, whom she had only met once. Fortunately, she had tied Annabelle and Billy together, and the two puppets didn't move anymore. Siddle pulled Ray's hand out. Suddenly she realized where the strange feeling she had just had when she left the door came from. It was obviously a busy summer. The lobby on the first floor was also noisy with people talking, even on the second floor you could hear it. But when she saw the twins, she didn't hear any other sounds. The entire hallway was quiet. Haroon was a black man, also the chef of this hotel. It was said that he had worked here for more than 10 years, no one knew why he suddenly resigned and left. By the time Siddle saw Mr. Haroon, he had already said goodbye to everyone in the hotel. The man looked at the little girl with a kind expression, squatted down and hugged her. "Nice to meet you, cute little angel." "I'm nice too, Uncle Haroon." "Siddle, I wish you a smooth journey." She didn't know why this person wanted to see her. Then she heard the man say, "There's something I have to tell you in advance. Before all the hotel employees took office, I was the one responsible for telling them this." "That's right, I also told your parents. Did they tell you?" Siddle said, "No." After she entered the hotel, she still hadn't seen her father's face, and Ray was also very busy, and basically didn't say a few words. Seeing the little girl looking at him curiously, Haroon knew that he had achieved his goal of attracting this child. He smiled and replied, "There's a room in the hotel, room 237, no matter what, you can't go in there, you know." Siddle was stunned. "Why?" Haroon's gaze was profound. He touched Siddle's head. "Didn't you see those things too?" If you can see, then you can definitely understand what I said, he smiled, his voice extremely serious. Room 237 is the most unlucky room in the hotel, remember to stay away from that room. No matter what happens, don't go in. I wish everyone peace. He didn't say anything more, just patted Siddle's shoulder and stood up. Siddle, slow down. Uncle, explain everything clearly before leaving. Her words were suppressed by the noisy crowd around Haroon, as if he didn't hear them. The man got into the car and drove down the mountain without hesitation. Siddle looked at the smoke in amazement. The old car in the smoke and dust gradually went further and further as the sky gradually darkened. This scene suddenly changed in her eyes. The truck that created the smoke and dust was like a small, weak creature controlled by a large beast, running away in panic from the beast's devouring. She turned her head in a daze, looking up at the hotel casting a large shadow on the mountain. The sunset outlined the hotel at the end of the day, a huge building hidden in the shade perched on the top of a mountain, its large doors wide open like the mouth of a predator, waiting to select its next prey. The sun set, it's almost evening. A light breeze blew by, and Siddle shivered unconsciously. She thought of a word. Bad omen. The atmosphere of the dinner was quiet and happy. Siddle found that she seemed to be the only one who was brooding and gloomy. Ray stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling window, looking down at the jungle maze in front of her, happily turning her head. Siddle, tomorrow morning, Mom, will you take me to play in the maze? Siddle scooped a spoonful of rice into her mouth, and said expressionlessly, Mom, I'd rather study that wooden puppet with you than go play in the maze. She used an iron spoon to poke at the food in the bowl, regretting that she couldn't make a dent in the iron as she said, Don't bring home any items of unknown origin in the future. What if they're bombs from terrorists who want to take revenge on society? Without waiting for Ray to speak, Siddle looked at her old father again. Dad, were there any rumors about this hotel before? Kelson, huh? Obviously he knew something, looking at his daughter with an embarrassed smile. Dad, Siddle took a deep breath, today. I saw a pair of twins. Right in the hallway, Siddle emphasized, they even followed me into the room. Kelson was startled, could it be the children of the tourists? Siddle nodded, I knew you would think so, I haven't finished speaking yet. After entering they made a ruckus for a while, and then just like that. She made a hand sign, disappeared before me. The man's gentle face became serious. Siddle, who said anything strange to you? No one said anything strange to me, Siddle said, but I think I have the right to know about the past of this hotel. Kelson tacitly admitted, facing Ray's gaze, slowly said, a few years ago, here, when the heavy snow covered the mountain, the hotel manager at that time killed his wife. He paused, then added slowly, and their twin daughters.